Welcome back to the True North Life. My name is Jillian, and today I guess we're going to kind of do a little bit of a fall garden update. Do you want to go outside into the garden with me? Do you want to go outside? Okay, let's go. Do you guys want to see how ridiculous my garden looks right now? So it rained like a ton today. So this is what the ground looks like. Yay, it's soaking wet. So it's fall. We are going through a ton of cold spurts and a lot of crazy stuff that's happening right now. And I thought that I'd just take you through on what we're doing, what we're not doing, the things that I said that I was gonna do that I haven't gotten to yet. And yeah, it's a little bit of a fall garden update. And I'm gonna start on, I guess, the good stuff, because I really want to show you guys my blueberries. And we are out here walking around, checking out how crazy the water was, and also our tarp that was back there. It's brown now, so you probably can't see it as well. But the tarp back there was ripped to shreds because it's been so windy. So we replaced that tarp. Oh, I'm scaring all these birds. There's like a ton of birds just walking around. Look. I don't know if you can see any of them, if I've scared them all away. Oh, there's a couple. So cute. So we were out here walking around, and I would check my strawberries to see if there was any strawberries left on the plant, and there aren't, and there aren't any raspberries. But my blueberry looks really cool. I got this one this year. See if I can check the variety here for you guys too. It's mitral pink icing. So it's a pink icing variety blueberry, and it looks so cool. The colors on it are amazing. Have a look. Look at how cool that color is for a blueberry. It's so cool. I think it's really neat because everything else around it, like the raspberry, green, that raspberry is like brown, and then like, bam, blue, purple, crazy color. I think it's pretty neat. Because everything else in here is like, just dead. The weeds, except for the weeds, the freaking grass is still coming up. This is my kiwi. Kiwi did not do well at all this year. And I didn't get anything off of it last year, so I'm thinking, we'll see how next spring goes, but that thing might be totally dead. These are my strawberries. These are the ever-bearing ones up front. Last year I got strawberries off of them right up until they were like frozen. They were flowering. They're still flowering. As you can see there. Pretty neat, but like up top, like all the stuff that was still above, totally just destroyed. This is one that I got new this year. It's got a couple of really cool, great runners coming off of it, but this is pretty much, I think, the end of it. There might be like a couple, we might get maybe like one or two out of it still, but I'm thinking that strawberry is done. But again, the everbearings and the ones underneath, they're still flowering, so we'll see what happens there. You can see behind me too, all of the work that we did with the skid steer still looks freaking amazing. We should maybe be able to get another one here in the next little while so that we can keep going and I can start clearing the area for the duck pond that hopefully we'll be able to get done next year. And the other thing that we still have to do is I have to finish putting in my garden beds. So my plan was this year was to get a bunch of the garden beds done. You can see behind me there is the metal for the garden beds that are going to put in. I did just get the corners for that. Thank you so much for that. So we will be able to put those guys up soon in the garden, which will be amazing. And I went to the store the other day, bought the lumber because it was finally back in stock. I only got a little bit of it because I can only fit so much in my car at one time. Bam, right there. So they just have to finish going together before we can put them up in the garden. But I went and we got our garden beds all kind of set up. Well, I went to go get the lumber. Went back the next day to pick up the rest of it. Like literally, I think it was less than 16 hours apart. Went back and it was completely empty. There were like four boards left. And they were totally gone. So we're gonna have to go back again and try again, see if we can get the rest of the lumber to finish this project. Looks like I'm gonna have to figure out something for this puddle that's in the middle of my garden now, because I did have the idea that we were going to put garden beds on top of this area, but now I think because it's the lowest, obviously because it's the lowest spot, but because the skid steer sunk so far into it, we're gonna have to figure out something maybe that can come in a little bit, that's a little bit lighter than the skid steer, or I'll get one of those kind of tracks, or those smaller like Kubotas or something like that in here, where we can start digging the trench for our duck pond, because right where I want to put the duck pond is actually a natural low spot as well on our property. So I'll show you guys how I know that, because this is kind of where I want the duck pond to start, and that right there is all the water. So this, look, I'm even wearing winter boots. That's how cold it is these days. This is all, oh, is that even a deer track? Maybe. It's kind of cool. So yeah, this is all kind of pretty moist in here, and this is like exactly where I want to put the duck pond. So that's going to work out really nicely. There's the garden, there's the low spot, so this is where the duck pond's going to come. So all that water is going to drain down this way and then back into this area where it's all sloshy anyway. So that'll work out real great. Super excited for that. So we're going to have the rest of the garden beds that are coming in here are going to come in right behind me. So you can see we've got one of the smaller garden beds right about there, and it's going to come along down here right into the front of our greenhouse, so that we have this nice little stretch here that's all going to be those nice small garden beds. And then the other big ones are going to go pop, pop, pop right in front of here, and boom, right in front of here to fill up the space between these two garden beds, which honestly, this is going to look really ridiculous. So I didn't really think this through. Oops. But I kind of used what I had available at the time. I had to get my garlic in for next year. So I've got garlic in this bed and way over there in that bed. So next spring, if I do get my other garden beds in, like I'm hoping I'll get them in the next couple of weeks. When those go in, we'll be putting plants in them, and it's going to be like plants, plants, garlic. Plants, plants, garlic. And it's going to look odd. But it'll all be there, and we'll have a bunch of garlic for us to use, and I'm super excited for that. So, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? It's going to be great no matter what. Don't I just look amazing in this sunshine? Oh, so good. Anyway, so I'm still working on the garden project. We have a lot to go still. I've got a couple of beds that still need a little bit of TLC. With this guy is where our broccoli just came out of. And we still have our, what are these? This is spinach and lettuce is over there. Oops. And then we took our bell peppers out because we were out here one night and I looked over and the wind had blown the cover off of the bell pepper, or the banana peppers one night when it was totally frozen. So we came out the next day and they were like, oh, we hate you. We died in this frost. And they were really gross looking. So we apologized to them and tore them out of the garden bed. And got it all ready for next year, so hopefully we can be nicer to the plants that go in there next year. But they're really upset at us, so it was time for them to go. And these guys are gonna come out too, so they've all kind of gone to seed at this point. So they're gonna come out. And we're gonna see what we can kind of use that space for next time. We're going to start planning next year's garden so that I know how much I need to start sprouting and when, and we can work that whole schedule out, because that's kind of what winter is all about. Like, the garden kind of needs winter. I was hoping this year to be able to put the cold covers on top. I tried with the covers that we had, so kind of like the greenhouse, same with the plastic. We put them over top, but because our winds are so strong here, pretty much every time it would stay put for a couple of hours and then it would be blown off with what I have at the moment. So I need to come up with a more suitable solution for the amount of wind that we get here, because clearly I haven't thought about that like at all. Like, I was like, oh yeah, cold, got this. I don't know, stable it down so that like the light breeze doesn't take it away, but then you're like, oh, we actually get like giant gusts of wind here, so that's not going to work at all. So I'm thinking that kind of pausing on doing the winter gardening for right now anyway will be a good idea until I can get the metal garden beds up and running, because then they're insulated in the ground too, so that not only are they covered and gaining all that sunshine from up top, but they have more area and more efficiency to store the heat that they get. So I'm hoping that that'll work out a lot better. And those guys are gonna go. So we've got the back of the garden is at the end of this garden bed here, like so behind those two garden beds. So the metal ones are gonna stretch down that aisle all the way back because there are quite a few of them. And I'm a little nervous to cut them, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna take you guys along on building those metal garden beds. So if you guys ever have garage doors that you can use at the same time, that you can use them and you can kind of learn from my mistakes, because I'm sure I'll make lots of mistakes. Also, I freaking can't believe these birds are pigs. I have 2 bird feeders. I filled them 2 days ago. I came out here though, and there was like 80 blue jays, so I'm not surprised. It was all gone though. I'm like, oh my gosh. So not only are we feeding the deer and the turkeys and the blue jays in the back, but we're also feeding a flock of crows and blue jays up here. I love seeing them, not gonna lie. So it's cool, but could you take a break for like a day? That would be nice. Or like turns at least, make it last. Savor the moment. My birds are pigs. It's craziness. I will help you with your garden and with your animals and all that kind of stuff. I totally thought he was taking a poop there for a second. With the animals, but anything else, at this point, I'll refer you to other people. Or you can learn along with me. That's kind of what this whole channel is about, because I'm not a perfect at pretty much anything. I'm gonna stumble my way through a lot of this stuff. That's why I hope you guys will correct me. If you see anything that I could do to make things a lot better, a lot easier, I would really appreciate it if you guys left that in the comment section down below. I also wanted to leave you guys with a little bit of a teaser today. So recently we crossed a huge milestone. We hit our 250 subscribers and I was so stoked. I am still super stoked, and the number keeps climbing, and I have to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and joining along on our journey and being a part of it, leaving those comments, leaving those likes, hitting that subscribe button, and finding value in the videos that we're producing for you guys. I have something coming up that's going to give back to you guys, but you'll have to stick around to figure out what that is in the next couple of videos. So thank you so much for joining me on my fall update video. I look forward to seeing you guys next time.
We can pretend that we're just friends, yeah, but who are we kidding?